Yo people, this one's just a quick video. I'm making this video on what my favourite thing is. So my favourite thing here, as I've got, is books. These are just a few books I've got by the side of my bedside table. And I'm going to talk to you. The books just dropped. I'm going to talk to you about why books are my favourite things, even though that sounds like mad nerdy. But the reason books are my favourite thing is because they're like a cheat code for life, the way I look at it. Like, basically, if you gain any value from speaking to people, whether that be your friends, whether that be mentors, moguls, gurus, anybody in the world, like even podcasts, like when you speak to people, listen to them speak, you gain knowledge from them and you gain value. And a book is like the opportunity to dive into the minds of hundreds or thousands of different people with way more knowledge than you. And things like that I just find so valuable. Like, I'll give an example. In one of the books I'm reading on negotiation, it's actually about an FBI negotiator who negotiates with terrorists in different buildings, and he's made a whole book on different negotiating strategies that he's found to be valuable in his like line of work. Like, thinking in your head or thinking in my head, I would never thought, maybe I need to learn something from an FBI negotiator. But of course, the book is valuable and it's things that I can take and apply in my own life, my own business, to gain more value or money in my own line of work. And that's just the way I think about it. So books, for me, they're like an ultimate source of knowledge. And another thing I'd say is like, I'll give a perfect example. Yesterday I was out go-karting with my brethren, in it, with my friend. We were out go-karting and I was driving. I was on a track now. And as I was driving, I came to a realization that there's something I'm doing right now, or I'm not doing right now, that if I instantly started doing it, I'd become a better go-kart. Because I was driving and I just knew I wasn't driving as efficiently. I knew I was not the fastest on the track. And it's like, I don't know what I need to do because I don't go-kart often, or I don't have a go-kart mentor that's told me this. So I'm just driving thinking, oh man, am I going the best way around the turns? Am I going this? The best I can be doing right now is trial and error. Like, seeing if I'll go around it faster and then improving. But if I had a mentor, if I had a book on go-karting and I read it, I'd be like, oh, all I had to do was do this and it would have been better. Like, there's so many examples of that in so many different books. Like, quick examples are gratitude, planning, goal setting, changing your mindset. These are simple things that if you knew about it, you definitely apply it. But because you don't know about it, you don't. And what you don't know, you don't know. And when you don't know these things, like, you know what I'm saying? You're just living in a state of, I could have been living happier, more efficient, or making more money, but I don't know this. And I believe books are those small keys. Like, I believe if you're a person of success or someone trying to make it in life, like, reading is actually a prerequisite. Like, I don't think it's a negotiable. Like, I do know some people that are doing well in life that they're not avid readers, but I feel like the majority of people that are doing well are avid readers. Like, it's the majority, not the minority, that are readers. So reading for me, books are for me, they're my favourite thing. And another thing that makes them one of my favourite things is because I'd say myself, I'm quite intellectually curious. But what that means is I'm interested in loads of abstract that don't really kind of have grounding in reality sometimes. But they're things I'm really interested in and I like to talk to them. I like to talk about them. But because they're so abstract or niche, there's not a lot of people I meet in my day to day or have close to me that like talking about these things. So sometimes I have to go talk to my boys Descartes, Plato, you know what I'm saying? See what Socrates was saying, even though Socrates never made any books. So having these books where you can delve into the minds of deeper people and talk about issues or read about what they were talking about, it's like, as like nerdy as it sounds, it's like having a partner or companion there that you can delve into or mind topics that you don't have anyone around, and it just kind of increases your base of knowledge. And then when you do meet someone who's interested in the same topic, you've got loads and loads of things that you can bring up and talk about. So for me, and I know this for a fact, like, I don't care what anyone says, people who read are infinitely more interesting people than don't read. Even me myself, reading has made me like a better conversationalist because we might be speaking about something. It might be something abstract about, like, for maybe the way people interact. No, for example, me and my boy were having a conversation and we're talking about social media and alcohol, and there's one of those things where, like, people probably as a collective realize these things they're using are negative, and if everybody could like click a switch, they'd probably use it less, which is what we were saying. And then it reminded me of a study where I read about there was a binge drinking on college campus, and then they did a whole study about that and how they reduced it. And I was like, rah, this is a real life application to something we were just talking about, just theorizing. And because I read it in a book somewhere, applied it to conversation, we learned something both new. So that's why books are my favorite things, really. Like, just knowledge, like you become smarter, like you just more confidence, more. Anyway, the way I see it, the more I know in life, the more confident I am, because for me, like, knowledge is power. And then learning more things, like the books I showed right there, I'll just pick them up, like, give me a second. Cool, so I was reading this right now. This is Contagious. So this is kind of like a psychology book. So it's how to build word of mouth in the digital age. So it kind of talks about 7 ideas of why ideas spread. And that's like just an interesting thing to know. Like if you're building something, or if you want to make ads or marketing, you want to know what makes things popular. Next thing, my guy Jordan Belfort, Way of the Wolf. This is the guy from The Wolf of Wall Street, and this is one of his books, and it's actually like a very, very good sales book. Like, it's not a story about his life. I think he kind of mentioned it here and there, but this is more of like an actual straight guide into selling. Like, I've been using it to close calls or build systems, and it's actually really, really good. Like, it's a direct manual, no bollocks, no fluff, like straight to it. And then this one is like another one of my favorite types of book. This is like the Think and Grow Rich kind of niche, the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. I was in a actual bookstore when I bought that. Like, I was just browsing, I saw that, and I was like, what? Success and spirituality, how can I not be reading that book? Do you get what I mean? So I picked it up, I read it, quite good. And you know what I mean? Those kind of 3 categories are the kind of things I'm most interested in. That's psychology, sales / marketing, and just success and spirituality. Like, I didn't actually first get into reading by reading books. I started on Audible. I'll just show you my phone real quick. Yeah, on Audible, I've got like 27 titles on. I don't know if that's even a shot. I've got 27 titles on Audible. I first started on Audible just walking when I was listening, and I was like, right, like, these guys are talking knowledge. Like, this is helpful. And I was listening to loads of Audibles, getting a free one every month. I was like, cool. I think I ordered my first book. I think the first book I've read was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read it. I was like, cool, this makes sense. And I think I picked up, or I listened to Think and Grow Rich. That's by the way my favorite book. Like, if you're looking for recommendation, first book, I'd say Think and Grow Rich. That's my favorite book on just full stop. So reading all these books, and then it's just kind of like gaining my knowledge base. And the thing about reading is, it's like the more you read, the more you realize you don't know and how valuable knowledge is. So the more you want to know, so the more you read. And that's why if I show you inside my room, I've got like tens of books everywhere, tens in my Audible library, and I've got a Kindle with tens of books. Like, because like when you read, you get. If you don't read, like, you just, even me, I just think reading books, man, it's not really that. But when you read, like, you get. So my favorite thing, reading. I'm gonna make a proper, like, a better video on why I think everybody should read. This is more of me just talking about what I personally read. This may motivate you to read, it may not. It may actually just be boring listening to someone else talk about reading. But that is it. That's why I like books. Like, for me, it just makes me more interesting. Gives me an opportunity to delve into topics that I might have nobody else talk to. Gives me actually applicable skills I can apply in my real life, like for business, interacting with people, interacting with friends and other people. Like, it just makes me a better, well-rounded human being. Like, I'm saying simple things, like I read in a book, which is so dumb. People like never forget someone's name, and it's something that everyone knows. But when I read it and they broke it down, I was like, wow, I never forget anyone's name. And when you remember those people's names, it's like those small little things that can just make the way someone views you more positive. So books, simple things like that. Just, bro, reading. It's a non-negotiable, innit? So that's why I love books. That's why I read. And I will definitely make a better video, multiple videos on why reading is a necessity. But this is just the first one, why I like to read. Cool. Love.